Have you ever wondered how to use YouTube videos to attract new customers and teammates for your business? Did you know that if you do this properly, you can essentially advertise your products, your service, or your business absolutely free with better scalable results? And you might be sitting there right now going, yes, I know I need to be using video. Specifically, I know I need to be using YouTube to market myself, to get more exposure for my product, service, or business, but I just don't know how to do that. Well, this is something that I've been doing in my business for many, many years now. It has contributed to a plethora of results in my world. And today I have a special guest that is going to share with us the simple steps on how to take your business and your brand and your products and services online using video, using YouTube. And I am so excited to interview this individual so that you can learn these steps for you and your business. So stay tuned. My name is Tanya Aliza, and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers create success faster while most importantly designing a lifestyle that you love. So if you're new here, consider subscribing because I put out a brand new training video and free resource for you and your business each and every week. Now today, I am so excited to dive into this success interview and introduce to you a good friend of mine by the name of Sean Cannell. And a lot of you guys may or may not know Sean Cannell, but he is a very successful YouTuber. And we've connected over the last little while, and he's liked what I'm doing, I've liked what he's doing, and I've dove into a lot of his training and his recommendations when it comes to building a very successful YouTube channel and YouTube brand. And so he's one of the go-to people that I follow when it comes to advice, strategies, tips, and tricks on video equipment and getting found on YouTube. Now we're going to dive into this interview in a minute, but Sean Cannell teaches influencers how to go further, faster with social media and video, and he has over 20 years of experience in online video, social media, and online marketing. He's also become the go-to authority of building real influence with video. He's built multiple successful brands online, including Sean Thinks, Think International, Think Media TV, which is one of my favorite channels, and Clear Vision Media, to over 350,000 subscribers with over 10 million video views. He's also worked with many top YouTubers, authors, businesses, and nonprofits, helping them increase their influence and impact online. He's also a best-selling author and creator of Video Ranking Academy, which is an online course that I've actually been through that has helped me grow my audience with ranked videos and turn those video views into business income. His passion right now is helping influencers spread the message that matter with video and social media. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into this success interview where you'll get to meet Sean, but more importantly, I've asked him to come and share his steps on if you're brand new or you're just kind of getting into YouTube marketing, how to really get out there, how to share your message so that it's not only going out on YouTube on video being like, hey, I'm on video. It really turns into profits for your business. And there is definitely strategy behind that. So I'm so excited for you to dive into these steps with us in this interview. And with every episode of Tanya Aliza TV, I also like to make sure that you are equipped with a free resource. And before I asked Sean to come out and do this interview on Tanya Aliza TV, I said, hey, Sean, what could we put together as a free resource that goes along with this interview? And you'll see in this interview the free resource that we put together for you. And I am so excited for you to get your hands on it. If you're already on my blog, then you'll see a big yellow button below this video where you can dive into that free resource. And it's basically a training that Sean's put together on if you want to dive a little bit deeper with YouTube marketing for your business. It's one of the trainings I've been through. It's one of the trainings I've implemented. And we've seen incredible results on YouTube because of this training. So let's dive into this interview with Sean and see what he has to say and take notes because you're definitely going to want to implement these steps when it comes to doing video and using YouTube to get your products, your services, your brand, and get your influence out there in the marketplace. So let's dive in to the interview.
Absolutely. Tanya, I'm so pumped to be here. I love hanging out with you and your community. And I do love video. And,
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why I think video is so powerful is we've all heard the quote, a picture speaks 1,000 words. And I really think that's true. If you see an image, you can catch the emotion, you can catch the vibe and the detail. Well, if a picture speaks 1,000 words, then video speaks 1,000,000. And if you do video right, that's actually true, because what we're doing, of course, in building our businesses and just connecting with people in general is we're doing the same thing that we did before technology even really kind of existed. We're building know, like, and trust. We're having conversations. We're trying to make eye contact. We're trying to, connect people with information, solutions, our products, our services, our team. But then we're also trying to connect them with them emotionally and relate with them. And video is by far the best way to do that. When you can't actually go and get face to face with every person, video is the closest way that we could ever do that, to communicate a message. There's nothing that comes close. And the ability to show off a lifestyle, the ability to show behind the scenes, and the ability to not just read some words, and words are powerful, not just hear our voice, and our voices are powerful in audio, but in video, you get all three combined together: powerful language, powerful visuals, and powerful audio. And I actually got started in video when I was volunteering at my local church in 2003. And the youth pastor just handed me a camera. So I got the advantage of making a lot of videos that I don't want you to see. I hope nobody in your audience ever sees those first videos, because everyone knows, if they've ever shot a video, that your first one's never your best one. And that goes for your first few,
They can
right?
hang out with my first videos over there, right?
There's something I recommend everybody goes and watches your oldest video just for fun, right? Same thing for me, because you can see people's journey, their progression. And for me, that's when I got started. And just over the years, I began to just learn and practice and get better. And then today, we've had some great success, and now over 500,000 subscribers across our various YouTube channels. It's a lot of big community that's built, just helping people realize that video, I really believe, is one of the best ways to build your influence, make more income, and ultimately make a greater impact on people and around the world.
Totally. And I mean, obviously, you guys know, every single week on Clockwork, we put a new video episode out on our YouTube channel and our blog for that reason. There was a time in my business where I didn't use video, and then I started to use video, and it was funny how the results just catapulted from there, And so definitely use video. I was really scared, and I don't know, Sean, if you've experienced the same thing. I was really scared to teach my audience video, because there's that fear of public speaking. That's like the people's number one biggest fear. And so I was like, I can't tell my people to do video. They'll hate me and they'll stop following me, right? But now I've gotten so bold about teaching video, because I know it's the fastest, probably easiest way that you can grow your business and acquire more clients and get yourself out there, get exposure for your business, right? So I know that I'm going to have some people that are going to be asking the question in their own mind, well, how do you mean use video to grow my business? Like, how do I use video to grow my business? And I thought I'd ask you this question so you can maybe give us an example of that. Say we have a business owner or a network marketer or a freelance entrepreneur. They've got products and services, or they're acquiring clients, and they want to grow their business with video. Like, what does that mean? How do you do that?
Yeah, well, there's a couple ways. The number one strategic way is to actually use video to answer questions. Most everybody watching that has a website, some sort of a business, probably you're trying to answer people's questions there about you, about your product and service, about your company or your opportunity. And you also might have on your website an FAQ, and a lot of websites do, because these are the frequently asked questions you get. The lowest hanging fruit and opportunity for everybody that's watching this is to create videos around the most asked questions, the most asked, or the most powerful pain points that people might feel. And so if you had a product that is helping people lose weight or helping people from nutrition, there's a pain point. It's actually not even a question about the product yet, because people don't know that the product exists, but what they know is, how do I lose belly fat without dieting? Mm-hmm. And that creates an opportunity that if you create just some good content that offers some solutions, some tips, some value, and then can point them to potentially a next thing that could be your product or take them deeper into your world and whatever your funnel is for your company, then that is the one of the best ways to do that. And the more you do that around, you know, the first 10 problems, then the next 100. And just like you're doing, you're finding that you're helping people get results and grow their businesses. So you're putting out weekly content around pain points. How do I get more leads in my business? Or how do I just even get more organized in my business? Because maybe things are crazy right now. And as we discover that sometimes we might draw a blank at first, but I know that everybody watching, they're really smart. They know their area and their niche the best. So when they begin to look inside, not just those questions that people ask, but even valuable content that can help their potential prospects and clients get their desired results, move them down the field of progress. And actually, this is a huge mistake that some people make. Some people only ever kind of go directly for the sell in video. They wonder what is like the direct sale, you know, the video that leads to a sale by the end. And I think that's a huge mistake that people make in video. One of the things that you want to do with video the most is actually just build a relationship. I think that the illustration of kind of dating and relationships and even marriage is perfect. And that is that I met my wife, Sonia, at Starbucks. She's a Starbucks barista. And I have a question for you, though. The first time I saw her, I'm like, wow, she looks good. She's super attractive. Of course, I started drinking a lot of coffee once I started, you know, knowing where she worked. But after I'd seen her a few times, and of course, you know, we're not dating, nothing had happened yet. How do you think it would have went if I would have, when she was kind of close to the register, if I just leaned over the counter and just tried to kiss her on the lips, just cold, just out of nowhere? How do you think that would have worked out?
Right. Yeah.
Terrible.
Not so good. You're be a creep.
Fact,
be a creep, Sean.
Yeah, be a creep. But although now, like, you know, kissing is something that happens on a regular basis, if you know what I'm saying, right? But like, it happens later, but it was inappropriate at the time. People make that same mistake, though, as they're building their influence online in their business, is that sometimes you have to think about video as this journey where sometimes some of the content, you add some value, people get to know your story. They get to like you. They get to know you a little bit. They get to trust you. Sometimes you might think, I like to say a ratio of 9 out of 10 touch points with your brand. 9 are value adding touch points and 1 is a sale, or at minimum for every 3 kind of touch points, the 4th one is a sale. So also not thinking that it has to be so ROI based, like every single thing we have to do, like how does this lead to selling? Well, part of it also leads to branding, awareness, trust. And then as you have people's attention, then when you make them aware of your product, your service, your opportunity, whatever it is, then they're basically primed. They're more ready to join and take action.
Totally. I love that. And I mean, it serves the statistic of the average person needs to see something 7 to 10 times before they make a buying decision. And you on video is way more powerful than anything that exists out online these days, or really anywhere, right?
Yep.
And so, and a lot of these concepts that you teach, and I'm going to ask you a question that I know that is on so many people's minds, and you're going to be the perfect person to answer this because I learned this from you. But a lot of this content that you're sharing right now, I went through one of your courses. I can't remember when it was, maybe like 6 months ago or 8 months ago, something like that. I went through one of your courses called Video Ranking Academy, and you taught a lot of this stuff in there. And I absolutely loved it. I'll leave a link in the show notes if anybody wants to go and check it out, because I get people that ask me a lot, Tanya, where did you learn YouTube? And I learned YouTube from a couple of different people, but I think that your program was one of the best that I went through because it was so easy and digestible, and it was easy to follow and implement. But I think that, I think you answered this in your course, and it was, what do you talk about? Like if you, what was it? If you are like, you have a product, let's say you have a health and wellness product, right? And it's a weight loss product or whatever it is, you're in travel or energy deregulation, whatever it is. I know the question that people are thinking, well, I'm not an expert. I don't know anything. Who would listen to me? And what the heck do I talk about? I know that there's a billion and one people that are asking that question, including myself when I first got started with video. So what would you say if somebody's in that position or they're thinking that right now watching this?
Okay, so I've got three actionable tips on that. I would say that number one, you actually know a lot more than you probably think you know, but what happens is there's two problems. One, it's the curse of knowledge. This it plagues me, it's plagued so many people. The curse of knowledge is you assume that everybody else knows what you know. You discount your own information, the things that you've absorbed just throughout your life. So you already have a lot happening inside of you. For one example is a person in our course, Heather, has a homeschool channel. And she at first was the same question. She's got 6,000 subscribers. She's doing brand deals. She's done a couple like multi-$1,000 brand deals, just building off kind of a personal brand, teaching people homeschool advice. No degree on it. Nobody ever came to her front door and said, I officially knight you, with authority to teach on this. But she's lived it. She's homeschooling her 2 kids. She's on the journey. And everybody watching, all you have to do to be able to start sharing your answers and helping people is just be one step in front of somebody else. And if you can help somebody, because somebody is where you just were, whatever you just figured out, like somebody else is still frustrated, annoyed, overwhelmed, trying to figure that out. Maybe you just figured out how to get your website running. You could help them do that. Or maybe you just finally figured out a good, not horrible tasting shake solution for, getting more shredded. And just sharing just one step in front of people. So it's the curse of knowledge. Number one, you know a lot more than you think you know. I think that number two is pick up a magazine or think of yourself like a magazine when you're creating content. What I mean is I will actually do this for video ideas. And something about actually for me, I still go to old school paper magazines. And here's what I'll see if I pick up Men's Health right now. It'll say 6 ways to get, 6-pack abs. It'll say 3 great tasting meals for dinner that, won't make you feel guilty afterwards. And it'll have a lot of headlines, concepts, ideas in your niche. So pick up a magazine related to your niche or just go to a blog. That would be the modern hack. And what you want to be thinking yourself like is a media company, though. You want to, again, we get so linear to where we think, well, there's only about 15 FAQs for my business. And then after I run out of those 15 videos, that's it. Well, no, you could add value around so many different things. So if you really are helping people with a particular weight loss product, you should be creating more content, though, that maybe is just nutritional advice generally, other things you've learned. And that's where you're helping people with value and they're beginning to trust you, seeing that you just share your answers. You help them, man, they just changed their grocery list that night. It tasted awesome. The family loved it. You were the answer to that. Now, when you share your next thing, but hey, when you're on the go, pick up the shake or whatever it is, now they're much more open to doing that. So that kind of magazine idea and thinking of yourself like a media company.
Yeah, totally. And actually, that was one of the things that I like that you said, the magazine. That was one of the things that I learned at a conference. You can actually go to Google, and if you're in a health and wellness company, you can type in health and wellness or fitness magazine covers, and then click on images, and you're going to see all of, you don't even need to leave the house. You
True.
can see all of the cover images, and then you can get ideas for what your target audience. And these guys spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on editors every single year to do the copywriting for them. You can just take ideas, right? I love it.
And even their headlines too, because that's the thing. I actually will swipe those. So maybe they say 7 tips. I'm like, well, I don't have 7, but I can make a video on 3 tips. I'm going to share my 3 best tips, but I'm going to steal that exact headline because like you said, like highly paid copywriters spent a lot of time to refine that headline, that tag into like a 6-word power packed thing. I'll take that and that make a great video. They did it in print. We're taking it to YouTube or wherever else.
I love those ideas. And then, also too, one of the things I'll link to a previous episode that I did about the power of Facebook groups as well. And I know, Sean, you've got an amazing Facebook group community that you run that I'm in, and I get to see all the lives and entertainment that you guys do in there and education. But you probably, as I do, get a lot of content ideas from your community, like your Facebook group community, because people are in there asking questions. They're basically telling you what you what you should do your video on, right? Am I correct on that? You probably get a ton of content in there.
Exactly. That would be number 3, is that once you get started, and that's what I want to encourage people, start before you're ready. You got to just get started and then make changes as you go. It's hard to, you can't really tweak anything once you don't have that initial movement. But once you get it, now you can get some feedback. Now you can find that the rabbit hole goes deeper, and even things splinter off. You're like, well, I made this one video idea, but I realized like there's like 4 other fundamentals that build this up. So now it's a 5-part series. And you've probably found that. There's probably been seasons where you've probably felt content block a little. I've been there. But other times where then you're like, eventually you're sitting on more video ideas than you could ever put out, because you get a momentum where you're getting some audience feedback, you're learning new things. And I think what most people will discover is once they get started, you got to just dump in at, kind of like entrepreneurship. You jump and hope you can maybe build a parachute on the way down, I think is what the quote is, right? Yeah. Entrepreneurship's jumping off the cliff and then trying to make a parachute before you hit the ground. Yeah. And it's kind of like that though. I think you have to dive into video, get started, kind of get your feet wet, have some awkward moments, because everybody does, kind of, work through the awkward phase of being on camera, but then momentum picks up and you will have no content problems at all.
Totally. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And those are good tips. Thanks for the 3. So I know that, okay, so we know how to do the video. Okay. So like, we're going to be answering questions and giving benefits. So like, let's say these guys have a product or service or an opportunity that they're promoting. What would be like a good way to segment answering a question to leading into a suggestion or recommendation and becoming like a customer or going further down that sales funnel with somebody?
Yeah. So this is why I love YouTube, because what you can do is before you ever press record, you should spend, a significant or just an adequate amount of time in planning. And you want to plan a couple things, kind of plan your content, but you 100% want to think before you ever press record, what is the call to action? What is the next step? But what is the relevant and aligned call to action? So what I found is our YouTube channel now is really large, about 330,000 subscribers on Think Media, but very diverse. The cool thing is that I can segment people within it, and it's going to start with the video idea itself. So what's exciting is that I might do something broad where I review a camera. Well, everybody from every different background might be looking for a new camera. So that's pretty wide. But then if I did a video that, and I'll do one that maybe is like how to grow your email list with YouTube. It was not a very highly viewed video, but everybody that was interested is more in that biz dev entrepreneur mindset. So already the video idea funnels and segments the audience. And then at the end, I say, if you liked this, then you'll really love this other thing. And that can send people into a funnel. And this is one of the things that you do so well, is as you give away relevant, a free gift, or, just moving people to the next step to take them to another place of value. That's what everybody watching could do. What is the result that you want next? And again, the key is making sure that there's an adequate number of steps. There's a little bit of, courting, kind of getting to know the person. Eventually it's an official date, then eventually you get engaged, and eventually you get married. It's not asking to get married on that first touch point. So maybe it is that free YouTube video, and then it takes them into something that you get their email address, but then you could add more value in a series of videos or a free download or a free audio that maybe lets them know more things. And for some people, they might not be in a place where they even know what their call to action is yet. You can get started, or literally what the business result is yet. You can get started by just building an audience first. That's never a bad idea. I know somebody who's actually in the network marketing space that is, building for the future, and so wants to build an email list around, but doesn't have their own products yet, they're still just heavily in their company. And so they're actually kind of building their audience and an email list, particularly if people are who wants this kind of information, some training, some coaching. But if you do have your next step down the road, I know somebody that is in Beachbody who has a video that kind of gives some value and then takes people into a funnel of how to get Shakeology for free. And then once people get there, of course, that has to do with joining the team actually. And so there's a lot of things that happen in the back, fill out a form, and a lot of different things you could do. So whatever your business result is, you could put that as the next step, and then even a multiple set of steps. And so the advice I would give is, first, even probably good to pull out a piece of paper. Try to get just real basic and linear and really draw out what is the whole picture? Before I even start with the video on the front end, where do we want to take people, and how could every step along the way serve the end result and end goal that we want to reach?
Totally. I love that. And that's exactly what I learned a little bit from you, and then I refined it over the years, but we do it in an Evernote. So we've got the Evernote, and then we fill in the blanks, like what is this going to look like? Just a rough estimate of what it's going to look like. And we shoot, and then we go. And it's not going to be perfect your first time. And heck, it wasn't with mine either. But you make it work. And I mean, that if you think that you have to be perfect, you're missing the mark too, because I think the best thing to do is be approachable and be human. And I think that's what most people are attracted to anyways. Being all salesy and flashy and perfect actually will hurt your results rather than help your results. So if you're just you, but you have a format that you follow, and then you have a call to action. And I think I learned this in going through your course with Video Ranking Academy. You also said something I loved, and I think would be great for network marketers if they don't have like a sales funnel built yet with like collecting email addresses or whatever. Your call to action could very simply be, hey, call me, or hey, email me, and check out the description box below for my details, and we can talk a little bit more if you want to learn more about X, Y, and Z, whatever your call to action is. A lot of people will, and we've got something at the end that we're going to give you guys as well that we put specially together. They think that you guys are going to love. But if you want to learn more about the Video Ranking Academy course that Sean has, I'll leave it in the show notes over at TanyaAliza.com/86 download for you guys, if that's something you want to go and check out, which I highly suggest that you do if you want to grow a following on YouTube, because I don't know, it's helped me. All right. Why YouTube? I want to know why YouTube.
A couple reasons, and I get really pumped about this one because YouTube, I love it the most. And to be fair, I love all social media. So we're using Facebook, we're using Instagram, we're paying attention, we use Twitter, and we're paying attention to as much social media, still Snapchat, Instagram stories. But here's what I feel like about all of these social media platforms is I call them the social media hamster wheel, because they're ravenous for content. We do Facebook Lives. I think people should be doing them, but they're one of those things where their shelf life, the value of a Facebook Live, is not very long. Nobody watches a Facebook Live that's 2 weeks old, as definitely not 2 months old, or a Facebook Live from last year. There's this constant news feed, this constant happening. So to keep up on social media, you have to post a lot of content. That's fine. This is what we do for a living, right? So you got to put in the work. But the reason I love YouTube is for this reason. It's because it is a search engine. In fact, it's the second largest search engine in the world, which actually makes YouTube more like a library, a content library, where if your videos can show up in search, then you can get views while you snooze. And so here's what I mean.
Let's just say this again. Snooze.
Yeah. Views while you snooze.
I'm snoozing before the views. Okay. Views while you snooze. I love it. Okay.
And this is the dream.
That's going to be the tweetable.
Completely. And that actually, let me give you an example of one of your videos. So I was on your channel. I looked up one of your videos. I have this plugin that shows me how many views you're getting per hour. So one of your videos is 7 months old. So you made it 7 months ago. You forgot all about it. You're not thinking about it. It's done. You already did your makeup that day and you took it off and you went to sleep. It is in history books. It's on YouTube. And if that was, again, a piece of content on another social, it probably would also be done and gone forever. Like it would just be so pushed down. Whereas it's 7 months old, but as we talk, like even as we hang out, it's getting 3.1 views per hour. That means 3 human beings per hour maybe they already know you, some don't, some are discovering you for the first time, and you have this chance now. It kind of be like going door to door or having to cold call people, except you don't actually have to cold call 3 people. They actually are seeking you out. And the reason why is because they're typing something into search. They're typing in a search query, and then your video shows up on the other side of what we talked about, those FAQs, those questions, those pain points, a million different things people could be typing in. But when people understand that YouTube is a search engine, and then you do what's right, and there's a lot that kind of goes into it, but once you put that good content out, you position it right so that it ranks in search, Now you could get views while you snooze. If we add that up, that's 74 views a day. That's 27,156 views a year, Tanya.
One
and that's just one of your videos.
That's just one.
That you forgot about. And so it's building your business and working for you even while you're not working. It's the best. I feel like when you put out a good YouTube video, it's like an employee that you have to pay once. Let's not deny that you got to get, the lighting set up that day, and you get the camera ready, and you prep the content, and you think about, you kind of map out what's going to be in it, and you figure out your call to action. You got to figure all that out, but you got to pay it once. You pay it up front. But then it creates leverage. It creates this passive mechanism in your business that grows your business on autopilot, whether you want to work or not, the following day or week. And I've done that over and over and over again. And now it's built this momentum. And so have you. And so you've got this momentum on YouTube, and a lot of our clients, people we work with, students, they're creating the same thing so that you can do that. The other reason I love YouTube is Susan, the CEO, just announced that 1.5 billion users are watching per month, active users logged in to Gmail. So that means it's a lot more than that, but that's how many people have a Gmail account and are interacting on YouTube. And they're consuming over 1 hour of content a day just on mobile devices.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of people watching content for different reasons. Of course, some people go there for entertainment, but people are also going for education. They're going for information. They're going for inspiration, motivation. They're going for all these different reasons. And so it's relevant for everybody watching. Your customers, your avatar, the people you want to reach, your future prospects, your future team, they're on that. They're using YouTube. So you need to be too. You want to be putting your content in front of the inquiries, the searches that people are looking for. And so the platform, it's healthy, it's growing up. It's also super young still. Sure, there's competition and there's a little bit of a crowd there, but YouTube is only it's 12 years old. I mean, any mom knows that their 12-year-old is not at full maturity yet. Can I get an amen? They know that. And so YouTube is still young. There's still so much opportunity on the platform. And the other thing is that it's really becoming more and more mainstream. And what I mean is you've created a show. Like you have your own show that in the past people would have had to pay to be on cable, to be on, and you probably would have been on channel 346. You know what I mean? It would have cost all this money.
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube is becoming a mainstream media platform. It is HBO. It's HBO, Showtime, USA, YouTube. It's its own thing. It's its own network, really. And they even have a competitor. They're competing right now with actual cable stations. They have YouTube TV in certain cities. So there's Comcast or there's Direct TV. And now there's YouTube TV and even normal shows. Like when Shark Tank ends, there'll be recommended videos that'll recommend other episodes of normal shows, but also YouTube content and creators. So what I mean is that now is the time to really plant your flag, build your influence and authority on YouTube, because it's really just starting, and there's so much upside and opportunity in the coming months and years. It's a smart strategy, and that's why I love YouTube the most.
I love YouTube the most too. I mean, Facebook's great. And I love how you said it's just the feed though. Like you do a Facebook Live and sure, it's great, but it's gone. People don't find it as much as YouTube, and it's search traffic on YouTube versus interruption marketing traffic that's on Facebook. So people are actually searching for you on YouTube. And so you have a different higher client that you could have through YouTube, hiring client through YouTube, because they've searched you out and now they've found you. So they're more likely to watch your stuff versus interruption marketing on Facebook. So, I love all the social media, but OMG, like I am starting to get more into telling people YouTube blog, like do that, right? Because we've had such great results with it. And speaking of results, before we share with people what we have for them as the freebie that goes along with this episode this week, I want to know, because I know everyone always wants to know, can you share some of like your clients and followers results? Like, do you have any like juicy results, like people never using YouTube or using YouTube a little bit before they found you and then finding you and then using YouTube properly, like some great, awesome business results that they've seen because of it? Do you have any that you can share with us?
Absolutely, a couple different examples and different niches. So one is actually somebody in network marketing that I work with, very interested in, or I was a student and very interested in building, their influence for their future. And you'd probably advise people to do this too. They're loving their company, they're loving what they're doing, but they also want to make sure that they're thinking 5-10 years down the road and actually working on building their own brand as well. So getting into YouTube, that was kind of the goal. While building their company, they wanted to build their influence over here, and really pretty much had no influence and was pretty much starting from just kind of like no momentum. And after putting out a series of videos, and let's be practical here, about 30 videos. So about one a week. So it took some time, but after putting out those strategic videos, probably 30-40% of them have taken off. They've done exactly what we've taught, which is important to know because even for me, it's not like, and for you, you don't rank and like get in search for every single one of your videos, but the consistency, you continue to add value to your audience. But the consistency of just doing the best practices makes you have hits every once in a while. They're kind of like these breakout videos and they rank in search. And so now one of his videos just crossed 100,000 views. It's getting, I think we talked about your video, it's getting 3.1 views an hour. It's getting something like 17 views an hour. It's at 100,000 views. It's going to be at like 300,000 views. Here's the thing.
Nice.
It probably won't be dethroned. It will last. It'll continue driving business results for the next, 2-3 years. Now, here's the power tip. Because they follow our system, because he did it right, the call to action is, hey, if you enjoyed this content, then you're definitely going to love my free guide where I teach some of my best principles. And so it's growing their email list. So tons of leads. Daily leads are coming in on autopilot, not with paid traffic. We do that too. He does that too. Not with anything else, but just from YouTube. And multiple of those videos are growing that email list, which then on the back end, the funnel can just take over. Another example is Nick, who is the CEO of a company that sells digital products and actually does software as a service, and was just really not tapping into YouTube, but actually had a lot of content. They were using other social media platforms. And when they put their content on YouTube and they did it right, things just exploded, already to the tune of 6 figures and beyond. Now, they already had kind of a business model going on, but especially for those, you already have some action. It's actually insane how quick just a few tweaks and some YouTube content can, start adding 25%, double your revenue, a lot of big things. So that was with some digital products. And then I mentioned Heather earlier, just kind of an example of somebody who just want to make some side income. As just a mom who's homeschooling her kids, kind of, doing some online freelance stuff to make money, started that channel. But because, and I know you teach this, the power of the niche, right? The power of the riches are in the niches. She started a channel just off her information, sharing her answers about homeschool tips for moms. So homeschool versus public school, a day in the life of homeschool, how to get started, all these different things. But because she built up an audience, and this might be an idea that people watching haven't even thought about as an income source, it's called a brand deal. She reached out to the company that they would normally spend money on their curriculum for. Their curriculum costs about $1,200 a year. That would come out of their pocket. Said, hey, do you ever work with influencers? The company replied, we don't even know what that means. What did you just say? And she's like, well, and so then she's kind of a little bit of just like kind of pitching, cultivated the relationship. Well, this is what it could look like. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And so here's what she said. She's like, they're like, we'll give you the curriculum free. And every month, so you get to take, because you're going to take your kids through anyway. So they save $1,200. We give you $3,800. Whoa, that's cool. And you'll get 10% affiliate commission every time you put out a video that reviews it. So all they have to do is once a month, they just say, this is the update of that month, walk you people through that curriculum. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description. So that's $120 on every sale of that affiliate offer as well. So what's crazy about the power of YouTube is that you can do this in any niche with any revenue model. So whether it is network marketing, whether it's your own product, physical products, whether it's digital, or whether it's even just wanting to build up a personal brand and monetize your personal brand and your influence, you can do it. And YouTube is, I believe, the best way to do it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, good ideas. I love it. There's so many different avenues that you can take. I absolutely love it. Thank you for sharing. Way to go. Like virtual high fives to your students for that. Like that is so awesome. But you gotta obviously take the action, but holy smacks. And it was funny because one of my designers that works full-time with TanyaAliza.com, her husband, wants to get in. He's watching all the digital world that we're in, and he's getting really intrigued, right? And he's like, oh, maybe I want to do a YouTube channel. And there's a lot of people out there like, maybe I'm going to do a YouTube channel, but then they just don't know how to put the pieces together, especially in the right order to get the result. Because there's a lot of people out there with good YouTube channels, but they're not making any kind of money, right?
True.
So how do you do it so that you actually rank and then you get money out of it and you're not just working for free, right? So she said, I think he wants to do something with YouTube. And I was like, you've got to get him to get into Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy. He's going to show you all the ropes. Like, because she was like, do you think you can teach him YouTube? I said, no, I cannot teach him YouTube, but Sean can teach him YouTube. So I sent her the link to your information. I said, get him to go through this course if he wants to do YouTube, because you'll be able to do it way better than I can on teaching him how to do YouTube. So, do YouTube, but do YouTube properly is the point of that. So real quick, 3 success tips when it comes to doing video for business or working on YouTube.
I love it. Okay, number one, and we've touched on some of these concepts, but number one, as I would say, leverage the internet and social media. And I use that word leverage because that's what we've talked about here. You create leverage when you stop trading your time for money, right? And so we're getting a consistent stream of leads from YouTube, views while we snooze. We're creating evergreen content. That's the difference. I really want people to think about, you still should be doing Facebook, but Facebook is your quick information, quick views, quick exposure, but then it's dead. It's not evergreen. It's not lifelong. Why do we what does evergreen mean? It's like an evergreen tree. It's green all year long. YouTube is an evergreen platform. That's when it's done right. And it's your library of content. So you can have videos that literally don't just last for weeks. They last for months or even years. So be thinking about evergreen content as well as evergreen funnels. Once you build those videos and you have a back end that'll lead people to a form to join your team, or that'll lead people to, a presentation or a webinar for your offer, whatever it is, however you do it, a lot of different ways to do it. Then you also have got evergreen content on the front end that's leading to these evergreen funnels. That is a super power tip that, ultimately creates passive income. And what I would say is kind of a very tactical thing on here, an action item, is identify your PQOs. This is your prolific quality outputs. And once you've done that, now if you follow the strategy that I'm talking about, your PQOs would be your videos. That means that you begin to see yourself as a content creator, as a media company, and you say, now that I got this stuff built, so if you're in my world, my PQOs is I realize, well, we've got the back end built out. We've got funnels built. We've got, follow-up sequences set up. We have things happening. So if I just put out more quality content on the front end of this, it just continues to fill the back end. So my prolific quality outputs are really focusing then on just creating the best content, a lot of free value. And so for those listening though, their PQOs, it could be a podcast that you have to put out. For you put out a YouTube video and a blog post, but you are prolific. You put out incredible content on a consistent basis that adds a ton of value. And so that's what people should really model that. It should model what you're doing, that prolific quality output. That builds up a brand. It builds up a momentum. So that's what I would do. Leverage the internet and social media and YouTube. Number 2, level up your brand. Yeah. Level up your brand. If you want to attract, premium income, then invest in premium branding. And so if you really want to scale, go to the next level.
I like that. Oh, that was a good one. Sorry, I had to stew on that one. That was good. I
love it. And, and people, branding can get so elusive, but branding ultimately is, what do people think about when they think about you? Mm-hmm. So the thing is that our brand is ultimately not in our control. We can influence it. It's our responsibility to shape it, hope that we can do it. But at the end of the day, it's actually just the perception of us that exists in people's minds. There's recently some flights had horrible issues, United, there's all this drama. And so of course they've invested a lot in branding, but if something happens in the media, it can shift public perception. But our job is saying, what are you doing? And everybody listening, ask yourself, what are you doing to build your brand right now? And maybe do a brand audit. Like, what really is, when you add up, one way to also look at what your brand currently is your brand is a collection of artifacts. These days it exists on the internet. And when an artifact is a YouTube video, it's a social media post, it's your Facebook page and the banner and the image. It's these things, whereas people, they click on your website, and when they look at the pictures and they read the words and they watch the videos, those are the artifacts. It'd be like somebody discovering Tanya Aliza 20 years from now, 50, 100 years from now. So you're gone, and they're trying to figure out who you are. They're like putting together the scrapbook of who you are. Well, those are all the branding elements. So everybody listening, what elements are you putting out in the world, and are they premium and sending the message you want to send to attract the kind of income and the kind of level and scale that you want to have for your business? And the last part about that we all need to answer is, what is your brand story? And if people don't know your story, it's because you're not sharing it, or you're not sharing it well. And I learned this because actually part of, where we are now, we've done maybe a good job in the last year or so, but even still, I feel like we're still working on it. Not that I have this mastered. It's definitely where my headspace is, because I've realized, like, if people don't know your story, so they don't know your why, start with why, Simon Sinek. If they don't know your why, it's because you haven't been explaining your why, you haven't been sharing your why. If they don't know, what drives you, and they don't know your passion, so maybe your brand is not really magnetic because people don't know how to connect to it. That's up to you. So I just encourage people really to be thinking about leveling up your brand, investing in premium branding, anything from video to photos to design. And I know that these are things you value. You do such a great job at this, and I'm inspired always when I see the excellence, for everything you touch. I think that people should aspire to that. I think that's a huge success tip that you're modeling. I'm hoping to, model that as well. And I would add, this ties into number 3, but I would add that, and it might hurt a little bit. Like, what's hard about branding is you might think, well, like, this doesn't directly, it's one of those things that doesn't directly correlate to a sale. Rather than just paying for a Facebook ad and you can track that somebody makes a sale on the back end, brand is something that you invest in to build up your perception, your legacy. And branding, investing in premium branding, is for people who care about the long game. Yeah. They care about not just quick sales, but they care about legacy, excellence. They want to build this over, they want a reputation. Branding is your reputation that they build up over the years. And so I would say level up your brand. And then number 3, take risks. No risk, no reward. Tips for success to scale, to go to the next level. We've, over the last years, I remember when we first crossed 6 figures, and now we're going to do multiple 6 figures. We're on a journey to break that, 7-figure barrier. And one of those things I've realized is there's been so many levels along the way where I've realized, man, there's a new level of kind of fear, new level of risk. And one of my mentors, Brett and Shalene Johnson, Brett Johnson says this all the time. He said, scared money don't make money.
Love that quote. It's one of my favorites. Oh, yeah. Scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money. And as I would hear that, so how's this kind of manifested for me? And this depends where people are in their journey. But even once I thought, like, whoa, as a solo entrepreneur, solopreneur, I remember, like, we hit some income goals and we're like, whoa, this is amazing. It's kind of comfortable. But then when I realized to scale, I was like, if we make the jump into team, man, we're broke again. You want to start, like, we were good if it was a solopreneur, but now if we start adding team, well, that's going to be a stretch. We start doing some ad spend, and people, I think, again, you're afraid because you think I'm going to lose some money. Here's the thing. If you just start doing paid ads, yes, you probably will lose some money. Like, especially like day one. The point is you just test, experiment. And if you're scared money don't make money, you test a little bit and then eventually get to that positive ROI, boom, things start to scale. So we've had to take risk moving into paid traffic and higher paid traffic. And the other one for us was investing in coaching, even whether that was events or premium events or masterminds or coaching, even at the next level, always saying that if I want to go to the next level, I need to invest in myself at the next level, really take risks. And, those 3 things, really leveraging YouTube and the power of the internet to create passive income and passive content that grows your business, level up your brand, invest in premium branding. Don't be afraid to take risks. Of course, the fear is going to be there. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite the fear that you have. You're scared to death. John Wayne, there's this John Wayne quote, the cowboy actor, kind of famous in the past, where he said, courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyways.
Love it. And that is the truth about being an entrepreneur, like the raw truth. And I love it because that's what my community, comes here for. And I love that you shared. Those are some power tips, Sean. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
you're
love
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
So here's the deal. Every episode of Tanya Aliza TV, I share a resource, a free resource, or a freebie that we put together for the community to help them create success faster in their business. And because today we're talking all about video, and there's so much more that we can talk about video. There's other questions that people have, like, how do people find me on YouTube? How do I get found? Okay, I do this video, I put it on YouTube. How do people find me? There's questions like that are stewing, I know, and in this short period of time, we can't go over everything. But Sean's put together a free info session for us that we can plug into and we can learn. And basically, I'm going to leave that as a resource in the show notes at TanyaAliza.com/86 download, the number 86 download. We'll leave a link in the description box for you above or below this video, wherever you're watching. You can click it. It'll take you to the blog. Right below this video on the blog, there'll be a big yellow button. And then you can click that button and you can register for the free info session that Sean does. And it's called his Tube Masterclass. And I like this because it's 5 strategies for growing your audience and income on YouTube before the end of the year, or this year, right? Within the next, I think they can do it faster than that. Sean, your stuff's so good. Come on.
I think so.
You're just saying the next, obviously we don't want to make any foolish claims, but your stuff is so good that I think people, if they get their hands on it, they go through it, they most importantly implement, that they'll start to see results even faster. Because I went through it. I went through your info session. And then obviously I dove a little deeper. I got your Video Ranking Academy and I went through it. I dove through it like super fast. I went through it. And I was implementing as I was doing it. And you see some of the changes on the YouTube channel that we've done based on your teachings in there. And, our results went up 30% after going through that course. And, I'm sure there's more I could even do. And I'm going to probably knock on your door and say, hey, teach me more.
I love it.
But you have this info session, and if somebody wants to learn more about, doing video to growing their customer base and acquiring more customers or clients, I suggest that you go through this free info session to learn from one of the best YouTube business trainers that I've been exposed to and that have helped me grow my business. So thank you for putting that info session together for our community as our freebie. Allowing us to share it. And I'll leave a link at TanyaAliza.com/86 download for you guys to go and register for that, and then dive a little bit more deeper in Sean's world, and you will be, your business will be happy that you did. So Sean, is there any last parting words that you'd like to share with my community before we wrap this up and tell everybody to go get registered for your info session?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it to a deep place. And thank you, actually, that's for talking about the masterclass. I think it'll add a ton of value. But yeah, this is kind of what hit me, Tanya. So I hope this is okay to share. But one of the things that's driving me for the time we're living in right now, for everybody watching, for you, for me, and one of the things that really motivates me is this conversation that I run this in my mind that I'm going to have with my granddaughter, Sarah. Now, my wife, Sonia, and I don't have kids yet. So this is out there. This is in the future. But I have this dream, and I just think of talking to her. And like little Sarah comes up to me and says, Grandpa, I was studying 2017, 2018, like 2020 in history class today. And I'm sure that there's no history books by then. They just have like Apple Watches that turn into holograms and whatnot. Yeah. And when I dream about having this conversation, and here's like a fear, one of the things that drives me. But then Sarah goes, but Grandpa, I was studying how much opportunity and everything that was happening during that time. Why didn't you go all in? Like, it's so much harder now. Like, you lived through this boom of the internet, the early days of social media. Like when YouTube first started, like you lived during that time. What were you doing? Just kind of like not going all in. And that honestly drives me. Like, and I think about it. So I hope that I am trying to go all in. But what I want to leave people with is that I don't think even you or I realize, and that all of us listening together and everybody in this community, I actually don't feel like we realize how amazing right now is and how much opportunity I am convinced that there is really in the next 24 to 36 months. We're living it. We're seeing the momentum. We're seeing the growth. What I don't take for granted is I don't know if we'll have this same momentum and growth in a couple of years. We maybe have established our businesses. Businesses go through seasons. But what I know is that right now, it's insane amount of opportunity. So for everybody listening, I would want to leave them with to say, do whatever you have to do to like live like no one else so that later in your life, you can live like no one else. That's a quote from Dave Ramsey. The sacrifice comes before success. Maybe some people, you're crushing it, you're good, that's cool. But if you really got big dreams, big, aspirations, you want to build big income, make a big impact, build a big legacy, go all in right now. Like I implore you, that's one of the things I want to leave people with because it is insane the opportunities that we have. YouTube is one of them. Video is one of them. So I tell people listening, go all in. Make little Sarah proud.
Wow. I love it. Oh, dude, that gave me chills. Woo. Sarah. What if her name's not Sarah?
It might not be Sarah though. You're right. Like it could be anything. So, but yeah,
I love the perspective and you are so right on that. And definitely. So make sure, Sean, I'm going to leave your contact details for your social media links in the show notes over at TanyaAliza.com/86 download for everybody to connect with you. But what's the best way offhand if somebody's just watching this video to memorize to go and check your stuff out? Where can they find you?
One of the best ways, actually on Twitter at Sean Cannell, of course, there's links in the bio. I'm pretty active there if people have any questions. But Think Media is just type that into YouTube, the word Think space media, and that'll get you there on YouTube. And then we also have Video Influencers, which is a weekly interview show that we do with video influencers, people that are using video. And yeah, so you could type that in as well. And SeanCannell.com, would love to help in any way. And those are probably the best resources.
Thanks, Sean. Well, I appreciate you so much and everything that you're doing for the entrepreneur community and helping all of us grow our businesses, helping me grow my business and my YouTube influence and my channel as well. I can't tell you there's not a day that doesn't go, that goes by that people don't say, I found you on YouTube. So that's, a testament to making sure that you get out there if you want more exposure for your business, for your products, your services, and you level up. You level up your brand, get on video. So Sean, you are a blessing. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you. Go connect with Sean, guys. Make sure you get registered for his info session and tell him if you saw this episode with him and he's added value to your business in any way or your life. Please connect with him, drop him a message, drop a comment in the comment section below here and thank him for his time with my community. Sean, you are a rock star. Let's high five it and close it out. Boom. We'll see you on the next episode of Tanya Aliza TV. Ciao for now.